Hello everyone, back tuning into the second of today's free videos. I've already done the 5-day forecast, and you can find the video of the 5-day forecast here on the homepage. Just scroll down a bit and it'll be underneath the link ads. So this is going to be looking at the month ahead for the Beijing Climate Centre. We go 40 days ahead with this. It's now a regular feature on a Wednesday afternoon at GasOViz that will do the 40-day look ahead with the Beijing Climate Centre. So we'll have a look at the 500 millibar heights of the coming 40 days, and then we'll have a look at temperature and precipitation anomalies as well for the next month. So this evening we'll have a look at the snow risk for tomorrow. Well, for the rest of this afternoon, this evening, and then of course tomorrow we have a system coming in from the north and the west. It could bring some snow to northern parts of the country particularly, but maybe a little bit elsewhere as well. But we will have a look at the detail on that this evening on Snowwatch. That'll be around 7 o'clock. So if I get on with BCC Wednesday, just to say about the ads, there's links to articles on all the pages. Have a browse widgets, click through the links. If there's any articles that you're interested in, thanks so much for doing that. There's video ads on most pages, which open up the content when you watch them. They'll close back up again. Helps to pay for our website. Remember, you can find a link to the Beijing Climate Centre on the links page. So we'll start off with the 500 millibar heights. These are broken down into 10-day periods. The first 10-day period will take us from the 26th of April through to the 5th of May. As ever with 500 millibar heights, blue is extrapolating to low pressure, and yellow, orange, red, those bright colours extrapolate to high pressure. So, the anomaly for the coming week, the 26th of April through to the 5th of May, shows a big ridge, a big blocking feature here around Greenland, and a deep trough correspondingly to the south and the east of this block. So this is a transitional period, because it's not going to be, the whole of this period isn't going to be as blocked as this. This is how we're starting off with this huge ridge of high pressure across Greenland that's pumping down this cold air, pushing down, I should say, this cold air out of the Arctic in that sort of fashion. So this is certainly how we're starting off. As we get through to the latter part of this period, so really over the bank holiday weekend and then into next week, we will find the blocking beginning to relax a little bit, allowing us to revert more towards a westerly type pattern. But at the moment, certainly this is a very good representation of what's going on, with really extensive blocking up over top of the pole. As we go through to the second 10-day period, this takes us from the 6th through to the 15th of May, we find that the trough is still there over the country and generally to the east, but the ridging is relaxing to the north. So overall the flow is going round into the west. It's still quite unsettled, this. It's still changeable. You expect rain, particularly in the north of the country, I think. But with the flow reverting more to a westerly as we're losing this blocking up over Greenland, we should find the temperatures lifting up a bit through that 10-day period going up to the middle part of May. The third 10-day period, this goes from the 16th through to 25th of May. Quite interesting. Hints at the blocking comes back a bit here around Greenland. Look, the orange colours are returning towards Greenland and going down the central part of the Atlantic. We've still got this trough here over central parts of the UK. So this could be very cool again. Another cold push through that period into the second half of May, with the flow probably going back into the north. Now that would be very damaging if that came off. Get through to the second half of May and still be getting northerly winds, bringing, I think the risk of snow would be mostly gone by this point, away from the highest ground in the north. But there would still be a risk of frost here, and that would be very, very damaging by the second half of May, to still be getting frost, really in the peak of the growing season at that point. So gardeners, farmers, anybody invested in fruit trees, fruit growing, anything like that, you will need to watch the forecast there as we go into the second half of May, if the Beijing Climate Centre is right and this blocking begins to re-emerge again around Greenland. And then finally, the last 10-day period takes us into day 31 to 40, so we're going 40 days ahead. With this, we go to the 26th of May through to the 4th of June. So we just start the summer, meteorological summer anyway, which is the 1st of June to the 31st of August. We just start meteorological summer with this And this looks a more normal flow then. As we get through the start of June, it looks like the low pressure is up to the north. The ridge begins to build to the south, which would pull the winds in from the southwest. Could still be changeable, especially in the north, but the main point with that is that temperatures would lift up a lot, I think, as we get through to the start of June. It would turn much warmer and finally revert to what you would expect, actually, as you're starting summer, with the flow pushing up from the southwest. You could get temperatures into the mid to high teens Celsius with that one, possibly even below 20 Celsius. Going through to the temperature anomalies then, again, these are broken down into 10-day periods, and the first 10-day period is the coming 10 days, so the 26th of April through to the 5th of May. Look at this, a really, really cold week compared to average coming up. We're not alone, most of Europe is suffering with this really cold weather as well. Again, have to emphasise, this is really cold in comparison to the time of year. It's not really cold if it's in comparison to the middle of January. If we was getting this pattern in the middle of January, we would be having sub-zero temperatures by day, having severe frost by night, and we'd be having widespread snow across the whole of Europe, British Isles included. Because we're at the end of April, it's comparatively very cold compared to that point of the year. So really cold anomalies coming up for the coming 10 days. And then we go through to the second 10-day period. This is from the 6th through to the 15th of May. This one's still cooler than average, but nowhere near as extreme with the anomaly, much closer to what you would expect in the early part of May, albeit still a little bit below average, about a degree cooler than average. Remember, this is probably transitional. We go through to week 3, which I thought was looking quite cold on the setup. Remember, the blocking begins to come back a bit through week, or I should say, the third 10-day period. So this is the 16th to 25th of May. It is still a bit cooler than average, but not too bad. Not an extreme cool anomaly. But watch your space on that. If that blocking does start to re-emerge around Greenland, it will pull down another shot of Arctic air. And then the final 10-day period, this takes us into the middle of June, close to average, still maybe even hinting at a little bit cooler than average. Hopefully by this period, if heights are rising to the south, we would start to lift those temperatures up a little bit. The overall temperature anomaly for the coming month, so this is for May, this is going from the 26th of April through to the 25th of May. This is the 30-day temperature anomaly, and it's coming out significantly colder than average, and much of this is skewered by the first 10 days, of course, but even so, the month as a whole comes out cooler than average. It is quite possible that May could be another cooler than average month. The precipitation anomaly for the coming 30-day period, again, this going from the 26th of April through to the 5th of May, 25th of May I should say, comes out close to average. I think it's a bit messy, to be honest. Notice it's significantly drier than average up to the north, but elsewhere not too bad an anomaly. So I think close to average precipitation really there for the next month, 26th of April through to the 25th of May. But it's really the temperatures that's the talking point. It does look significantly cooler, even colder than average. A lot of that is because of the first 10 days that we're currently in. But even so, as we're going into May, there's no sign of anything really warm coming up there. And as I say, it's not impossible at all that May could be another cooler than average month. If it is, we'll have a cooler than average spring, and that will probably be our first cold than average season. I think I'm right in saying since spring 2013, so it's been quite a while, coming 3 years, get a colder than average season. Perhaps last summer was colder than average, I'm not sure about that. But certainly anyway, it does look like May. It'll be a fairly coolish month, particularly cool to start off with. And the rainfall is about average, but I think there's a fair amount of variation in there from the 10 days periods that we're going through. So some of those 10 days will be quite wet, potentially some of them could be fairly dry. That's how it's looking this week with Beige Climate Centre. Remember, this is all highly experimental, so don't take it too seriously. And this evening we'll be updating Snowwatch, so come back for that. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching.